What's going on, gang? Thought I'll webcam it up today. Today we gonna be going over some retcons. No, not retcons. Let's do a video again. Hold on. How to destroy a story in one episode. Okay, so basically the reason why I wanted to bring this up because we had a pod on this maybe last week, and we was talking about how Kaguya was only made to bring boruto into fruition because um all the big execs wanted to go to the prequel Naruto because it was such a cash cow. But that's just that in a nutshell. But shout out to what's my one name? I think it is Daigo Knight. I can't see that shit. Hold on. Yeah, Daigo Knight. Subscribe to him. Let him know I sent you. Yeah, let's peep this video real quick. God damn.
Destroyed in a single event. This event of unparalleled literary destruction happened in Naruto, with Madara being stabbed in the back by Black Zetsu out of nowhere. This is the single worst scene in the history of manga, by many reasons. And today we're going to talk about one of those reasons, Black Zetsu, and how he destroyed Naruto in a single episode. Before we begin, like this video and subscribe to this channel if you like my content. Zetsu has always been a mysterious, dark character, a member of the Akatsuki that was introduced in the very...
Yeah, like his video up and subscribe to his channel. He makes great content. I fuck with his shit. He put me on a lot of different things. So yeah. Oh my bad. I didn't even put a blind in here. But yeah, definitely to subscribe to him. I've been on a rabbit hole with his videos, and a lot of it is very interesting if you're not familiar. I know probably most of y'all is familiar. This is
the end of...
you got a big little community I see here. So yeah, definitely do that.
Naruto Part 1. But Zetsu in the beginning was not a very important character whatsoever. He was a plot device. He was the information guy in the Akatsuki. His ability was to essentially travel through the ground and relay information to the more important villains. He also cleaned up after the Akatsuki. We saw that
That was one thing. Like, who the hell is this Toby dude? Like, he never get hurt. Like, nobody's ever able to harm him. And then you got Elite Jonin and stuff like that, and he's able to like counter their attacks or just evade them. Not counter, but like evade them in a nick of a second. So that always intrigued me my first go around. And then obviously, you know, you get the Kaguya revelation. Yeah, if you guys want to join up, I'm gonna leave a Discord link in the chat. Just give me a second.
manga/anime where there is someone or even more than one person watching a fight, and then they comment about the fight, and therefore they give the information to the audience. But that was pretty much it. Zetsu was not that important. He had a nice design, you know.
I kind of liked him. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all did I like him? Like I like his community aspect and like his community aspect and the way that he brought some type of like lightheartedness to the series, even though he's supposed to be a villain. So I like that contrast. I don't know. What y'all think?
Forced by Shonen Jump to kill the best villain in the entire series and introduce the worst villain in the entire series, and I would argue in the entire history of manga, so that they could have a sequel after that based on the family of said villain. And of course, I'm talking about Kaguya here, the worst character ever made. And she is obviously a very big problem for a multitude of reasons, but this video is not about her. This video is about her right-hand man, quite literally. So when Kishimoto was forced to introduce Kaguya, he didn't have a setup for that because he wasn't planning on doing that. He also had barely any foreshadowing for Kaguya. Madara mentioned her once, and then one chapter before she showed up, we have that shot of Kaguya looking from above in the sky and the Infinite Tsukuyomi and all that, and that's it. That's the foreshadowing for Kaguya. If you compare that to Madara, who was foreshadowed since Naruto vs. Sasuke in Part 1, The Valley of the End, is night and day. This was a problem. Kishimoto didn't really have a way of introducing Kaguya that would work in the narrative. Anything Kishimoto would do to introduce Kaguya would be unsatisfying because there was simply no space for a new powerful villain in the narrative. Madara was the final boss, who was the only other villain left in Naruto.
I don't know, man. I like Kaguya. I mean, I see bro gripes with it, but Kaguya, she was that, and I don't mind. Like, okay, I don't want to spoil it. I'm gonna let him get into his point and just commentate a little bit more. But I don't think Kaguya was a bad villain because like it was. I think it would have been better for them to describe how chakra got into the ninja world because they said, quote me if I'm wrong, that they didn't know how to mold chakra, blah 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 blah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think Kaguya was a bad backstory. It kind of explained the ninja system and stuff like that, and like how their jutsus and stuff like that work, and the way they're be able to mold chakra, things of that nature. So she brought that to the ninja world. I mean, obviously, it caused conflict because the stronger you are, the one, then you want to rule over others. So I mean, you know, it's give and a take. You know, paths, all intentions leaves, whatever that saying is. Fuck it, I'm high.
At that point of the story. That was Black Zetsu. So Kishimoto had no other choice other than using Black Zetsu to facilitate Kaguya's return. Kishimoto had to pull some major writing contortionism for this plot point to make an ounce of sense in the Naruto universe. And this is the main point of the video. How Zetsu ruined the entire Naruto story in a single episode. So just having Madara dying and being replaced by the worst character ever written would have been a very, very bad thing from the get-go, of course. But if that was the only thing that happened, that would be bad, but still the ending of Naruto would be ruined. But not the rest of the story. The rest of the story would be there. It would be fine. I mean, you can watch the rest of the story and just skip over the Kaguya part, and it's fine. This is what I do essentially every time I read through the manga. You can forget that, oh, okay, it's just the bad part. Let's skip over it. The problem is that what Kishimoto did with Zetsu changes the entire story, destroying it in the process. Kishimoto did a major retcon, aka retroactive continuity, which is defined as a piece of new information that imposes a different interpretation on previously described events, typically used to facilitate a dramatic plot shift or account for an inconsistency in the story. In the war arc, we found out about Zetsu's backstory. We saw that he was Madara's will crystallized into a physical form that Madara left behind before he died so that he could keep the world and Obito in check and make sure he would return. And we thought, oh, okay, that makes sense. Black Zetsu was really trying to make things happen for Madara. Yeah, however, this changed. Black Zetsu was now Kaguya's will, which is already a retcon, but this is not the bad part. If he was only Kaguya's will, that would be bad because it's associated with Kaguya, therefore it's going to be bad anyway, but it would still not have ruined the entire story. The problem is that in order for Kaguya's return to make any sense whatsoever, Kishimoto had to change the entire story. He had to make Black Zetsu the main character in the story, at least as far as the universe in the Naruto world is concerned, because Black Zetsu pulled every single string since the beginning. Now that Kaguya is a thing, Black Zetsu is apparently what kept the story of the Shinobi world going. He made sure that the Uchiha and the Senju would fight each other for all eternity until he found a suitable candidate to be the vessel that would return Kaguya to the world, until he found Madara, which became his vessel. He manipulated the Uchiha clan, the Senju clan, essentially every single character in the Naruto series so that Kaguya could return. He even says that the entire Shinobi history led us to this moment where my mother has returned. This is the major retcon. Zetsu was behind everything, and I assure you that when Kishimoto wrote Naruto for the first time, and up until very late in the story, this wasn't in his mind. First, because there isn't any foreshadowing, and second, because it's simply a terrible thing for you to put in your story. Now, retcons are not always bad. They can work very well sometimes. A very prominent example is Darth Vader being Luke Skywalker's father. In the original Star Wars movie, A New Hope, that wasn't a thing at all. That wasn't in George Lucas's mind. This was never supposed to be a thing in Episode 4 of Star Wars. But then when Episode 5 came along, they thought, okay, I think Darth Vader should have a more personal relationship with the main character. How about Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father? It can be justified. I mean, Obi-Wan could be like telling a white lie in Episode 4 to Luke when he explained about his dad, and we can just say it's this big reveal then. And of course that in Episode 5, up until the big reveal moment, they foreshadowed the crap out of that plot point. So even though that's a big retcon, it works very well, and that's arguably the most important plot point in the entire Star Wars universe. If Darth Vader wasn't Luke's father, Star Wars would have been a very different story. There's also another example in the Naruto series, which is very much disputed. No one will ever know for sure if this is a retcon or not, but many people claim that Itachi actually being a good guy was a retcon that Kishimoto came up with after he created Itachi, and after...
Wait, hold up. I need y'all to fact check that for me, chat, because I have no idea where I ever heard that from. Please fact check me. Please, please, please. I need y'all, chat. Please fact check me on this. Is there any validity to this? Because I have no freaking idea.
After he thought about the massacre of the Uchiha clan, Now, they may or may not be the case, but either way, it worked very well for the story. It gave Sasuke further motivation, and it made the Naruto story more interesting. So retcons are not necessarily a bad thing, but they can be a terrible thing. You may be asking me, wait, why is it so bad that Black Zetsu was the main character in the story and he manipulated all the events in the story? First of all, Black Zetsu, as I said before, was not an important character. He was a plot device meant to give information to the Akatsuki. That was the character's function. It was never foreshadowed to be the grand master behind everything in the world. Sure, he was mysterious, but if you're gonna do something as grandiose as that, you have to foreshadow that and to give clues to the audience, because pulling this out of nowhere is complete BS. Second of all, Zetsu takes away the agency from every single character in the universe except for himself. What I mean by that is that the actions that the characters took during the entire story, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, Sakura, everyone, every single arc in the story was premeditated by Zetsu because he was pulling the strings all along. Especially Naruto and Sasuke, because they are related to the most important clans in the story. The clan Zetsu definitely interfered with the most. And sure, Naruto is Uzumaki and Senju, but he is still the incarnation of Ashura. And yeah, the incarnation thing is also a very bad thing that happened late in Naruto, but still, this is about Zetsu. Now, taking away a character's agency is very bad. Think about it. Oh, the tuning exams. Naruto is fighting Gaara. Okay, this was because Zetsu planned everything. Naruto is coming after Sasuke because Sasuke wants to train under Orochimaru. Never mind, it was Zetsu all along. Nobody cares. The characters were acting exactly according to Zetsu's will. And this is even worse for Madara because he was completely manipulated by Black Zetsu, which is just... I hate that. Storytelling 101 says that your characters must be active agents in your story and not passive agents. Active characters take action themselves in the story and they change the events that are unfolding. Passive characters wait for things to happen and they simply react. Active characters are more compelling because they have a will of their own. Now, of
Hold
course,
on. Let me go back. What you say?
that the actions that the characters took during the entire story, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, Sakura, everyone, every single arc in the story was premeditated by Zetsu because he was pulling the strings all along. Especially Naruto and Sasuke because they are related to the most important clans in the story. The clan Zetsu definitely interfered with the most. And sure, Naruto is Uzumaki and Senju, but he is still the incarnation of Ashura. And yeah, the incarnation thing is also a very bad thing that happened late in Naruto, but still, this is about Zetsu. Now, taking away...
He also said that the reincarnation thing was wrong. I don't know, man. What do I think about that? Like, I don't know. I think maybe I'm standing from bias a biased standpoint, but I really don't think that anything that Naruto did was really like bad like that. I don't I don't know. It was a very cohesive story to me. I loved it. I watched it from beginning to end, probably skipped some fillers, but I don't do deep dives in animes. Maybe I should. Maybe I like will sit back and grab a pen and a paper and like wait, what the fuck is this? Wait, what the fuck is this? But I'll probably try another anime though. Or Boruto. So look out for that. Let's see. I don't know. I'm gonna start cooking up some more stuff for y'all. We won't have these late night, these early morning streams sometimes more often. Um, you're free to join up. I left the link in the description. Oh no, in the comments. So yeah, let's go back to our video again. Bro makes some amazing videos, bro. Like he really does. Like, and me and Barbara was talking about like Boruto, um, art and Naruto art. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that Boruto art is better? Now, don't get me wrong. I know that these are like colored panels, but I think we got some color panels from Boruto. Mistake me if I'm wrong, but bro, it's elite, and it's a lot of other panels that I've seen because I've been reading like other mangas and like Boruto is great. Boruto's manga is great. The artist he really conveys the storyline, and he does it in a very great manner. So, not shit on the artist. I'm just saying. But yeah, let's go back.
way character's agency is very bad. Think about it. Oh, the tuning exams. Naruto is fighting Gaara. Okay, this was because Zetsu planned everything. Naruto is coming after Sasuke because Sasuke wants to train under Orochimaru. Never mind, it was Zetsu all along. Nobody cares. The characters were acting exactly according to Zetsu's will. And this is even worse for Madara because he was completely manipulated by Black Zetsu, which is just... I hate that. Story.
But why? It's a double cross, bro. Like, you befriend the person, you make him feel like he's working in your best interest, and then when your guard is low, you stab him in the back. Like, it's the art of war. I don't know. I think Madara just put his trust in something that he think that is weaker than him, and he can fully control, but it backfired on him.
Storytelling 101 says that your characters must be active agents in your story and not passive agents. Active characters take action themselves in the story and they change the events that are unfolding. Passive characters wait for things to happen and they simply react. Active characters are more compelling because they have a will of their own. Now, of course, not every single character is going to be active all the time. This is impossible, essentially. There are things that the characters are going to have to react to. But as a rule of thumb, you should make your characters more active rather than passive. There are exceptions for that, of course. There are always exceptions in storytelling. There can be interesting passive characters, but in general, you should have more active characters than passive characters at least. And making so that Zetsu is the mastermind behind everything takes away the agency from every single character in the story, meaning that they essentially become passive characters reacting to Zetsu's plan so that Kaguya can return. The meaning of everything, every remarkable event that has ever happened in the Naruto series that you've enjoyed watching / reading thus far loses meaning because everything was done according to the plan of this minor character that no one really cares about. Zetsu, a character that's not that interesting and that had no development in the story. Do you see the entire...
Bro, I really like content, but I don't know, man. I don't think that your criticism on the series is solid. I don't know if you watch Boruto Anime, but yeah, no, I don't think so because Black Zetsu was playing a fool the whole time. So like he gave hints and stuff like that. Like I understand what you're saying, and we're gonna get into the end of the video, and I'm gonna double back on that. But because I've seen this video before, but I just wanted to share this with y'all. Just in case you haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure you have. But anyways, like let's get back into it. Hold on.
A character that's not that interesting and that had no development in the story. Do you see the problem here? Do you see how this retcon destroyed the entire series? Because now every time a cool moment happens, Naruto is being taken over by the Nine Tails' chakra, you're gonna remember Zetsu is behind that. That's not very interesting anymore. This isn't so much as retroactive continuity, but retroactive destruction of a story, which is very disheartening. The only alternative you have is to essentially exclude this point of the story in your own head canon, in which Black Zetsu was never the mastermind of the story and that Kaguya never existed, because that's another problem entirely. And if you don't do that, and if you have that knowledge reading back, then you're just not going to enjoy Naruto as much as the first time you read it, and this wasn't a thing. Now, I've heard counter arguments for this retcon not even being a retcon, and it is very much a retcon because it's information we never received before that changes the entire understanding of the story so that a plot point can be introduced in the middle of the story out of nowhere. This is the definition of a retcon. Do not argue about that because you're gonna look stupid. And I've seen other people saying that Obito slash Toby being the leader of the Akatsuki was a retcon just like Zetsu. And no, Toby slash Obito being the leader of the Akatsuki is not a retcon. It's blatantly obvious that Kishimoto intended that to be the case since the beginning of part 1, essentially. Toby being the leader of the Akatsuki and Zetsu being the mastermind behind the entire world are two very different things, and let me explain why. When Kishimoto introduced the Akatsuki in the very ending of part 1, he didn't show Toby because Toby technically wasn't in the Akatsuki at the time. He introduced Toby in the first arc of Naruto Shippuden. Remember that in the manga, in the original story, this introduction of Toby was done after we saw Obito's backstory, with him being crushed by the rock and all that. In the manga, that happens between parts 1 and 2 of the series. So, when Toby is introduced, people...
Yo, chat, help me out. How did Obito smash his, what's that, this right eye? If I'm laying on my back on this side. Yeah. No, that's the right. That's the right eye. So did Kakashi get the left or the right eye? If I turn around. Yep, still like. Oh shit, guys. Oh, oh. Okay, never mind. Answer my own question. It was alright. Sorry, if y'all heard all that noise and it hurt your ears. So duly apologize. But yeah, let's get into some more of this. Hold on, let's see.
People could already puzzle things together and say, hey, hold on, this Toby guy has a hair that's very similar to Obito's. He also has only one hole in his mask, and coincidentally, it's on the right side. This guy could be Obito. And yes, people were figuring that out. Everyone knew that Toby was Obito before he got unmasked, and most people already knew that way before the war arc. So yeah, it was very much foreshadowed that Toby was Obito. Now you may say, oh no, but he wasn't foreshadowed to be the leader of the Akatsuki. And no, he definitely was foreshadowed to be the leader of the Akatsuki. Yes, Toby acted like a goofball, and then after he quote-unquote dies from Data's explosion, we get the reveal that he is the de facto leader of the Akatsuki. And one of the coolest...
Yo, for the longest time, I thought Obito was just some goofy dude when I first watching it and reading my let me stop lying to ya. Not read the manga. I started on part 1 and I'm reading it now. I didn't read Shippuden, War Arc, none of that. Sasuke Retrieval Arc, none of that. So, well, I'm not saying watch, but read any of that. So I have no idea what's about to happen. So just context, guys. This context.
Scenes in Shippuden when he says, I am Madara Uchiha, with the lightning in the background and all that. Toby, before the grand reveal that he is Madara, was essentially comic relief for the story. Naruto is the shonen manga.
Bro, that shot of Madara. Again, I want what you guys' opinion. Do you think that Madara, wait, hold on real quick. Hold on. Okay. Never mind. Hold on, let's go to the rest of the video. I'm back.
Never really had characters that were solely focused on comic relief. Yes, there are jokes everywhere, essentially, but no single character is simply done for the sake of being a joke. And Toby was that character. It was very dissonant. He was the only character who was pure and simple comic relief. At face value, Toby had no purpose in the story whatsoever. He was only there to be funny. And this raises questions. Well, there's maybe more to him than we might know. Storytelling 101. Never include things in your story that have no purpose. Now, sure, you could argue that Toby's purpose was...
Oh, I remember what I said. When he fought Sasuke and Data, he like had that what is C2 C4 blast, and Sasuke totally evaded it, and not Sasuke, I mean Obito evaded it. I was like, damn, this dude might be something serious. He might be hiding something. So that's the only inkling that I got. Oh, so maybe he's not what he say he is. But I didn't put the past. I didn't. I wasn't the ones that was like making speculations and theories and stuff like that. So I don't know. But yeah,
to be funny, but this wasn't really what Naruto was known for. Characters should have a bigger purpose. And if Toby was just comic relief and he had just died in Data's explosion there, that would have been just very weird, because think about it, he would have had no purpose in the story whatsoever except for being a funny guy. Of course, Kishimoto had something in mind for him. Ever since his introduction, ever since the Obito flashbacks, hell, ever since the first episode probably, when Kakashi said the words that people who betray their friends are worse than scum, quoting Obito in the Bell test, that was the setup already. Kishimoto already knew that Obito was the leader of the Akatsuki by that point. And when Toby was revealed to be Madara had been foreshadowed a lot in the story, and by that point in the story we're supposed to believe that he was Madara anyway, so yeah, that works too, because damn, Madara is the actual leader of the Akatsuki, the guy from the statues, the guy that everybody's been mentioning that's a legendary ninja. It's nothing like the Zetsu retcon. It's not even a retcon. You could call it a plot twist, because yeah, we didn't technically know that Toby was the leader of the Akatsuki and was quote-unquote Madara when he was the funny guy, but Kishimoto definitely planned for that. Zetsu, on the other hand, he has no development as to him being the mastermind behind the entire Shinobi history, and he only became that because he was required to by plot. And if you don't take that fact off your mind when you are reading or watching Naruto again, you essentially will stop yourself from enjoying the series. So I do recommend you to take that away from your head canon. If you want to see these problems with the Naruto story fixed, watch my Rewriting Naruto series right here. Subscribe to this channel and like this video for more content like Welcome to the Kishimoto.
yo, my bad, gang. Hey, any of y'all want to join the stream? Y'all want to add a community pod? If you're in there, I'll drop the link one more time. Cause I ain't doing shit. I'm chilling. So I thought I'd chop it up with you guys. What do you say? I'll be laughing right now if you got the same thing with My Hero Academia, which would honestly be beating a dead horse because people have already done it. Yeah, I agree with that one. Having watched too many My Hero. I gotta get back on that. Let's see. I think he got the right eye. I could be wrong. Oh, Obito. If you're laying on your back, though, when you get your left, well, it fell on this side, right? Oh, yeah. Right eye. I don't know. But yeah, maybe we'll do this a little later. We probably have a podcast on Thursday. Wait, today's Thursday. Sorry. Today is Thursday. Yeah, probably today sometime, actually. Yeah, Thursday. Probably some today. I don't win. Don't hold me on it. Just don't hold me on it. But I'll let y'all know. I'll leave it in the community pod or community tab, and watch out for the live. All right, peace, guys. Thank you for joining in. And if you want to donate, it's always appreciated to the podcast, so we can give y'all more quality content. Get rid of this little countdown stream live thing. Everything is appreciated. And if you can't, because I know everybody's on hard times right now, not podcast watching. But yeah, everybody have a safe day, and we'll probably catch y'all later. Again, I'll drop it in the meantime. It's your boy Nino, and we'll do this more often. We're going to react to some YouTubers, maybe some of the things. I'll probably start another channel. A lot of people said they wanted me to do like UFOs and like strange shit. So maybe I'll start a podcast on that. So yeah, I'll get back to y'all on the next one. CNP. Y'all have a great rest of that day. Peace.